exposure that we are able to provide to people studying in college, to other youngsters aged below 25, this gives them a glimpse into the world of opportunities that are there in policy making and governance. And this, he also made it clear in another podcast where he spoke with Nikhil Kamath, where he said that I am not talking about electoral politics alone. Electoral politics is different from what chances and what opportunities lie for youngsters in governance, policy making, working with think tanks, working with different organizations. These are definitely some things that will be the need of the hour for the policymakers of the future. And those youngsters who are pretty much interested in this and are continuously working in this regard, uh, they will be roped in as consultants. They have a bright future ahead of them because
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Edu Talks by AB and Abhishek Borel Initiative. Well, as per research data, there are more than 2,700 colleges in India which offer political science as majors. If you consider political sciences taught as minor subject, it raises the number around 3,989, almost 4,000, just 11 short. For all those who have a degree in political science or are pursuing one, in today's conversation, we are about to explore how policy think tanks and research units function and get to know more about the skills that help in employment in this area of expertise. And today, helping us decode the machinery of governance and legislative research, we have Aravind Suchindran, who's the Chief of Staff at the Office of Tejasvi Surya, Member of Parliament from Bangalore South. Welcome to EduTalks, Aravind.
thank you, Abhishek. It's so nice to be talking to you. It's so nice to be here joining your podcast.
We're moving on directly into the conversation. So, you come from a very different educational background. So, how did your own educational background shape your entry into a public life? Do you think any of these formal education plays a role in preparing someone for a political or policy oriented career?
I would say they help a bit, but what you face in a political office is entirely different from what you actually go through in your classroom learning. That is because in this political field, you not only face some challenges with respect to one particular subject, you need to be equipped and be adaptable to know and observe and learn about different various sectors. For example, just in the city of Bangalore, you have challenges facing from infrastructure, which could be a civil engineering problem, which could be an architectural problem, right up to startups, which will again be something related to computer science engineering or AI and ML. You also have problems where you are interacting with a lot of people from various communities. So, here, this is where you see the humanities background of education being of great use to people. However, when you restrict yourself to knowing only one kind of skill, or you get comfortable just by saying that I will do only this particular part of it and I will not focus on some other aspect of legislative work such as policy making or something related to the legal field. Some court cases might be going on, some land dispute might be happening. So, in a political office, you are faced with all such problems, and there is no one sector that has been left out. So, when you say that I will focus only on letter writing, I will focus only on drafting, I will focus only on handling the policy side of a political office, it's not going to really open up a window of opportunity, a window of opportunities for you. You need to come with an open mind, because when it is some problem related to infrastructure, you need to know something about civil engineering or you need to know something about urban design. When it is a problem related to, say we need train connections from Bangalore to Ayodhya or from Bangalore to Kolkata, Bangalore to Howrah, you need to know what sort of trains are already there, what is the capacity of the trains, and some basic knowledge of railway engineering is required. When you are faced with some other problem with respect to bore wells, or somebody is asking for street lamps in their area, so this will be some other sort of city based civil infrastructure problem that you're handling. When it is some other kind of school issues with respect to infrastructure or the syllabus that is there in the school, whether they are getting sufficient amount of time to play in the playground, or whether they have sufficient number of books in their library. So these are different kinds of challenges that you would typically face in an Indian political office. And for that reason, a basic degree in political science will only expose you to what sort of different political theories of learning are there. For example, what is the ideology of the left parties? What is the ideology of the central parties? What is the ideology of the Indian National Congress, BJP, and so on? But when it comes to the practical side of things, there are several other factors, several local factors that come into play. What you study in Kolkata will be different from the challenges that a person in South is facing. What somebody from here, he might, learn a lot of English, he'll learn good literature, and he might be posted in some area in the remote parts of Jharkhand. He may not be able, he would have never been exposed to that sort of challenges that are existing there. So according to the local environment, we also need to adapt to different things, to the diversity that is India. And most importantly, what is most essential in this particular field is that we need to celebrate this diversity that is there within our country. We need to celebrate the different sorts of people across various age groups from different backgrounds and communities that are living together so peacefully in society. And when we open up our minds to this sort of diversity that is existing in our country, that will itself open up a lot of opportunities for youngsters to work in this field. So I hope that answers part of your question, Abhishek.
Absolutely, Arvind, and thanks for explaining the transition that a student would face maybe after college if they have a political science degree to working within a political party office in that sense. Um, if you look at young Indians, I think most of them are passionate about governance. Okay, so they would be, but lacking, say, a political lineage or a realistic pathway which gets them into think tanks or say public policy spaces at this point of time. What would your advice to them be where they are looking for a career in terms of a public policy side? Do you think any particular pathway on what they should be doing in terms of gearing up for such jobs?
So that's a good question that you have asked. What I would say is, let's look at when I was passing out of college, maybe 11, 12 years ago. There was no set pathway that any youngster interested in politics, there was no set pathway for him to join a political office or to join an MLA or an MP office or any public representative's office. Then various programs started. You have the LAMP Fellowship, you have different public policy courses that are being offered by various universities. You have many of the private institutions in Bangalore, in Delhi, which offer governance, national security, public policy courses. So when a youngster who has learned some skills in his political science degree or has pursued law, they will have a natural affinity to take their skills forward and join a political office or to join an MLA MP's office or to work somewhere in the political sphere. So they will try, to see if they can join UPSC to clear the exam and see if they can, pass out and work somewhere in the public sphere. However, not everyone is able to clear the UPSC. Out of 10 lakh candidates that write the exam every year, hardly 1% are the ones who end up becoming officers. So that would, the number of people who are, graduating from UPSC and becoming officers is around 1,500, 600 or something, which was the figure last year. And the number of applicants were about 10 lakh. So when you see this pattern, it's clear that not everyone can make the cut, but what everyone else is interested to do something in this field, and that is the reason why so many people are, registering and trying for the UPSC exam. So this means that we have a lot of things. There is a whole vacuum that needs to be addressed, and that is happening now in, big in a big way. Independence Day speech, the Prime Minister, in his Red Fort address, spoke about bringing 1 lakh youngsters with no political background into public offices. What he meant by this is not that everyone, 1 lakh new youngsters, will become MLAs or MPs tomorrow. And we are making consistent efforts, by we, I mean the society at large, to say that we need different kind of institutions which imbibe training in skills that are required most, you skills that are required here, addressing the problems of today, addressing the problem of youngsters, and those skills that are able to generate employment for a lot of youngsters. Some person who may be interested in joining politics may not, who may be interested in joining any political office for that matter, may not be able to land a job because of the lack of opportunities. We have all seen political office being private jagirdars of one family or of that particular MLA or MP who has been re-elected for so many 3 to 4 times, 3 to 5 times. He's a 6 time MLA, and only people familiar to his circle will be dominating the office. That's why, realizing that there is a huge vacuum to be addressed, we have also started from the Bangalore South MP's office internship programs, fellowship programs, and we are inviting people, youngsters from college, to come over to our office and see what actually the work happens here. What does an MP do? What does an MLA do? What does a municipal corporator do? What does a councillor do? Youngsters first need to understand this aspect of governance and public administration, and the exposure that we are able to provide to people studying in college, to other youngsters aged below 25, this gives them a glimpse into the world of opportunities that are there in policy making and governance. And through this, we are able to, you know, train a cohort of 50 to 60 in each batch. And so far, we have trained 500 people in the last 6 years to be able to take on challenges. This is specifically related to urban governance, but such models are being replicated in other MLA's office. The office of the MLA of Coimbatore, Mrs. Vanati Srinivasan, she is also starting this sort of a program. Mumbai, the BJYM, the Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha in Mumbai, has also rolled out such a program. And this is being, considered a model program which can be replicated in any constituency. Even the MP of Cochin, Mr. Haibi Hidden, he also, considered this program. And this is creating a buzz which will slowly expand to other parts of the country as well. And we are glad that such an initiative started in Bangalore and was started by our office. So hopefully in the future we'll see more such programs and youngsters are able to uh, get a glimpse of the world of opportunities that are there in policy making.
Great. Thank you so much, Arvind, for that. In fact, while you were sharing in terms of internships on how political officers are getting youngsters, there has been a couple of initiatives by different high commissions as well, where they get a student through a refining process to become like high commissioner for a small period of time, which gives them a very niche yet effective idea of how the entire policy framework works when it comes to an international cooperation side of things. So, thank you so much for sharing that such initiatives are happening at a way more grassroots. Level, which will actually help a lot of other students to kind of build up that acumen. Moving on to our next question, there has been a rising trend of students who are wanting to do a specialization in an area for their master's part of it, and then come back to the policy domains side of things. In while explaining earlier, you mentioned how all of these different specializations will kind of get together in terms of having an effective policy delivery in that sense. But from your experience, which area do you think has the richest opportunity for newcomers? There has been an increasingly high artificial intelligence ethics in that sense. People have been speaking a lot about urban resilience or climate adaptation. So, which are the different areas you think overall in India will gain more momentum when it comes to policy studies?
Definitely. I think tailor-made courses in artificial intelligence, uh, will open up a world of opportunities for youngsters. The reason being, we are seeing the way that, all these GPT models, LLMs are changing the way we draft our content, the way we write our legal treaties. All of these things will not be the same in a couple of years from now. The way that things are progressing with AI, what will be relevant today may not be relevant even after a couple of months. So we need to constantly upgrade ourselves and adapt ourselves and upskill ourselves. And that way, master's course, whether it's in AI or in climate action or even something related to bettering our sustainable development goals and working towards achieving all of them, these are definitely some things that will be the need of the hour for the policymakers of the future. And those youngsters who are pretty much interested in this and are continuously working in this regard, uh, they will be roped in as consultants. They have a bright future ahead of them because, I personally know of a couple of people who went to London Business School and pursued MBA, and they are consulting for different companies and not just one company alone, advising them about how to build their products which will be sustainable, which will have some impact in India achieving its SDG goals by 2030. So here, you as a consultant become a bridge. You become the connection between the actual policy that is being rolled out as well as the product of the company that you may be working on. So, how you bring these two together as a consultant or as a policy think tanker, what kind of skills do you need to achieve these things? Courses like this, which you mentioned, with respect to AI, with respect to urban resilience, those are definitely going to make a huge impact in the coming days. And, uh, just a point on the urban resilience. We have always imagined India to be a very village centric society. However, things are changing now. Our urban spaces are being cluttered and people are migrating in large numbers from villages from different parts of the country to our cities like Bangalore, Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta, Chennai, and other Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, and other places. So, when this is happening, how do youngsters cope up with the challenges of this mass migration, which is leading to unplanned growth and unsustainable development that is happening in all our cities? So there is a huge dearth of urban planners, urban engineers, as well as city designers, for which India is constantly on the lookout for, and all our municipal corporations or even the state governments are looking to create new spaces and change the way that we imagine cities from being some sort of a capital centralized structure to having 15-minute small urban centers which can have a big CBD area. So these are I'm just giving you a glimpse of the kind of opportunities that youngsters have in the future, especially in this space of urban design. So, Abhishek, thank you for that question again. And I hope that more such courses are the industry is there. People are always on the lookout for experts in any of these sectors, and just the right candidate is what we need.
Right. Thanks, Arvind. Yeah, very interestingly, again, in our earlier episodes of EduTalks by AB, where we were having conversations with academics, and she very nicely portrayed that how recent students are looking beyond the sustainable development goals and moving forward towards the ESG side of it, in terms of even doing corporate jobs and consulting in that sense. So your affirmation towards that actually helps to get another perspective on how all of these things together merged into an urban resilience actually helps for the society to come in that sense.
Definitely.
Moving on from
Definitely.
a hardcore skill of what they study in the classroom and get through internship, what about the soft skill side of it, which is very, very important when you're there in a public life part of it? So what are the indispensable soft skills that you would recommend working on if somebody is remotely thinking of having a career in terms of policy research or political offices in that sense?
Okay, yeah, that's a wonderful question. See, what happens generally in public offices is people come with a set mindset that I I have good knowledge of only one particular subject and only this part I will be able to handle. Suppose you just give them a challenge in the office, to just handle one citizen from the constituency who has come to the office asking for some request. It will be a simple request about how uh, the school is charging 60,000, 70,000 fees for LKG that their particular student has been enrolled into. And they are going through some financial trouble and they need some sort of a concession that um, how would a youngster handle this problem and what exactly would they do in these cases? We Whenever an intern comes to our office from any of these colleges, any colleges, any student, we give them an exposure and we help them observe about the different kinds of challenges that people in their daily lives go through. Somebody will not be able to purchase medicines from the medical shop because they are not financially well to do. They need some sort of an your appointment with a doctor in a hospital for taking their father or mother for a surgery. They are unable to get a license for some other kind of an issue for their building. So these sort of different challenges is what an MP office exposes you on a daily basis. So when we invite students, when we tell people to come to our office, we ask them to come with an open mind. You may be good in English, you may be good in a local language, you may be a poet, you may be good in literature, but at the end of the day, the connect that you have with the citizen, I don't want to say that he's a customer or he's a client. He's a citizen who has come to the representative's office to ask for some particular problem to be solved. So the way you handle it with empathy, with a humane touch, that is what is most essential, rather than your competency in English, or your good content writing skills, or the way you design. All these are definitely a big plus, but what we need at the end of the day is your kind, gentle touch, and to be able to understand the problems and handle them in a very empathetic manner. So, apart from all these hard skills, which anyway are being taught in colleges and are being picked up by students in a very good manner, people have to be a good human being and handle them with patience. So, that is what we look on.
Thank you, Arvind. In fact, we will end today's conversation with the note that humility topped up with excellence gives you the best results. And definitely that's the pathway to be in a political office in that sense.
You couldn't
Great.
have put it better. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for joining us, Arvind, and for all of you who's watching us today. Thank you for watching. If you want more such content, do let us know your area of interest, and don't forget to hit the like button and hit the bell icon for more such content. Thank you, everyone.